How are you guys doing? Today is Tuesday, February 9th, 2021, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to recap the Elite performances and matchups from yesterday, Monday, February 8th, and of course, I'm going to preview everything that goes on today as we navigate through the world of sports one day at a time. With the NFL season being finished, of course, congratulations to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to start with the NBA. Starting in Charlotte, the Charlotte Hornets hosted the Houston Rockets, who were able to beat them 119-94 after outscoring the Houston Rockets 29-7 in the fourth quarter, and LaMelo Ball taking advantage of a starting spot that was gifted to him. He's just not going to let go of it. Starting off for the Houston Rockets, their leading scorer was their starting shooting guard, Victor Oladipo, who finished with 21 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists in 34 minutes, shooting 7 for 18 from the field and 4 for 4 from the free throw line. For the Charlotte Hornets, their elite point guard, LaMelo Ball, would lead the team in scoring as he finished with 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 10 assists in 32 minutes as he shot 7 for 18 from the field. All 7 of his field goals came from beyond the three-point line, 7 for 12, and he also went 3 for 4 from the free throw line. With this win, the Charlotte Hornets are 12-13, which is the 6th best record in the Eastern Conference, as they in Atlanta are 5.5 games behind the Philadelphia 76ers. And with this loss, the Houston Rockets are now 11-12, and they and the Grizzlies are 7.5 games behind the Western Conference leading Utah Jazz. Jumping out to Chicago, the Chicago Bulls hosted the Washington Wizards, and in this one, the Wizards would end up beating the Bulls 105-101 after outscoring Chicago by 13 in the second quarter. For Chicago, their leading scorer would be their starting shooting guard, Zach LaVine, out of UCLA, who finished with 35 points and 6 assists in 38 minutes, shooting 12 for 26 from the field, 3 for 8 from 3, and 8 for 11 from the free throw line. For the Washington Wizards, their leading scorer will be their elite starting shooting guard, Bradley Beal, who finished with 35 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists in 35 minutes, shooting 10 for 24 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3, and 14 for 15 from the free throw line. With this win, the Washington Wizards are currently sitting at 6-15, which is the second worst record in the Eastern Conference. And with this loss, the Chicago Bulls are 9-14. They and the Miami Heat are both tied for the 4th worst record in the conference following this loss. Jumping to Memphis, the Memphis Grizzlies hosted the Toronto Raptors, or the current Tampa Bay Raptors. And in this matchup, the Raptors would end up beating the Memphis Grizzlies 128-113 after outscoring the Grizzlies by 18 points in the fourth quarter to come from behind and win this game. For the Memphis Grizzlies, their starting shooting guard, Dillon Brooks, would finish with 22 points and 5 rebounds in 37 minutes, shooting 8 for 20 from the field and 4 for 10 from 3. Their starting center, Jonas Valanciunas, would lead the team in scoring as he finished with 27 points and 20 rebounds in 34 minutes, shooting 8 for 12 from the field and 11 for 12 from the free throw line. And their elite starting point guard, Ja Morant, would finish with 18 points and 2 rebounds and 9 assists in 37 minutes, shooting 5 for 17 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3, and a perfect 6 for 6 from the line. For the Toronto Raptors in this game, their starting shooting guard, Norman Powell, would finish with 29 points in 37 minutes, shooting 10 for 17 from the field, 6 for 9 from 3, and a perfect 3 for 3 from the line. The Raptors starting shooting guard, Fred VanVleet, would tie for the team high in points as he finished with 32 points, 9 assists, and 3 steals in 39 minutes, shooting 8 for 14 from the field, 4 for 7 from 3, and a perfect 12 for 12 from the line. Their elite starting point guard, Kyle Lowry, would play only 8 minutes as he finished with 4 points, shooting 2 for 2 from the field. And then tied with VanVleet for 32 points was Pascal Siakam, the Toronto Raptors' elite power forward, who finished with 32 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists in 39 minutes, shooting 11 for 18 from the field, 5 for 8 from 3, and 5 for 7 from the free throw line. With this win, the Toronto Raptors are currently 11-13, which is the 8th best record in the Eastern Conference. That they are 6 games behind the first place Philadelphia 76ers. And with this loss, the Memphis Grizzlies are 9-10, which is the 5th worst record in the Western Conference, as they and the Rockets are 7.5 games behind the Western Conference leading Utah Jazz. Jumping out to Dallas, the Dallas Mavericks hosted the Minnesota Timberwolves and were able to pull up a 127-122 win, riding off of their momentum from their first quarter in which they outscored the Minnesota Timberwolves Timberwolves by 21 points. For the Minnesota Timberwolves in this game, their starting small forward and their number one overall pick from the 2020 NBA draft, Anthony Edwards, would finish with 22 points and 2 steals as well as 2 blocks in 31 minutes, shooting 8 for 19 from the field, 3 for 8 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the free throw line. He also had 4 assists. And the Minnesota Timberwolves leading scorer will be their starting shooting guard, Malik Beasley, out of Florida State, who finished with 30 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists in 34 minutes, shooting 10 for 21 from the field, 6 for 12 from 3, and 4 for 6 from the free throw line. Their elite point guard, D'Angelo Russell, would only play 6 minutes as he finished with 6 points, shooting 2 for 2 from the field, both of his attempts from beyond the three-point line. For the Dallas Mavericks, off the bench, their small forward, Tim Hardaway Jr., would finish with 24 points in 29 minutes, shooting 9 for 15 from the field, 4 for 9 from 3, and 2 for 3 from the line. Their starting center, Kristaps Porzingis, would lead the team in scoring as he finished with 27 points, 13 rebounds and 4 assists, as well as 6 blocks in 31 minutes, shooting 10 for 19 from the field, 4 for 7 from 3, and a perfect 3 for 3 from the line. And additionally, for the Mavericks, their elite starting point guard, Luka Doncic, would finish with 26 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists, as well as 7 turnovers in 37 minutes, shooting 9 for 22 from the field, 1 for 7 from 3, and 7 for 9 from the free throw line. The Mavericks are actually 3-0 when they have 3 players scoring at least 20 points. So that was a big win for them. And with this win, the Dallas Mavericks are currently 11-14, which is the second worst record in the Western Conference. And with this loss, the Timberwolves are 6-18, which is the worst record in the Western Conference and is only half a game better than the Detroit Pistons for the worst record in the entire NBA. Jumping to San Antonio, the San Antonio Spurs hosted the Golden State Warriors, and in this one, the San Antonio Spurs were able to pull off a 105-100 win over the Warriors, outscoring them by 7 in the fourth quarter, especially off of some late-game heroics, especially the late-game dagger from DeJounte Murray, which I believe was the best play of the night. For the Golden State Warriors in this matchup, they're starting shooting guard Kelly Oubre Jr. out of Kansas would finish with 24 points in 36 minutes, shooting 9 for 16 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3, and 2 for 3 from the free throw line. And the Golden State Warriors leading scorer would be their goated point guard Stephen Curry, who finished with 32 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists in 36 minutes, shooting 10 for 17 from the field, 6 for 11 from 3, and a perfect 6 for 6 from the line. For the San Antonio Spurs, their starting small forward, DeMar DeRozan, would finish with 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 10 assists in 36 minutes, shooting 6 for 15 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3, and a perfect 8 for 8 from the line. And then their leading scorer would be their starting point guard, DeJounte Murray, who also had the late-game shot to win the game, or to secure the game. DeJounte Murray would finish with 27 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, and 8 steals. 8 steals. In 36 minutes as he shot 10 for 19 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3, and 5 for 6 from the free throw line. With this win, the San Antonio Spurs are 14-10, which is the 5th best record in the Western Conference, 5 games behind the first place Utah Jazz and half a game behind the 4th place Phoenix Suns. And with this loss, the Golden State Warriors are currently 12-12, which is the 9th best record in the West. They are half a game behind the 8th place Nuggets and Kings, because they're both tied for 7th, and they are currently 7 games behind the Utah Jazz for the West. Jumping out to Phoenix, the Phoenix Suns hosted the Cleveland Cavaliers and were able to beat them 119-113, beating them by 6 after outscoring them by 8 in the fourth quarter. For the Cleveland Cavaliers in this matchup, their leading scorer would be their starting point guard, Colin Sexton, who finished with 23 points and 5 assists in 34 minutes, shooting 10 for 15 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3, and making his only free throw of the night. For the Phoenix Suns, their starting small forward, Michael Bridges, would finish with 22 points and 5 assists in 36 minutes, shooting 8 for 10 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, and 5 for 7 from the free throw line. And the Phoenix Suns' leading scorer would be their elite shooting guard, Devin Booker, who finished with 36 points, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists in 35 minutes, shooting 14 for 27 from the field, 5 for 9 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the free throw line. With this win, the Phoenix Suns are currently 14-9, which is the fourth best record in the West. They are 2 games behind the Clippers, and they are currently 4.5 games behind the Jazz in total for the West. And with this loss, the Cleveland Cavaliers are currently 10-15, which is the 10th best record in the Eastern Conference, 7.5 games behind the first place Philadelphia 76ers. Jumping out to Denver, the Denver Nuggets hosted the Milwaukee Bucks, and in this matchup, the Milwaukee Bucks would beat the Nuggets 125-112 after outscoring them by 16 in the second half. Is what it looks like. In this matchup, for the Denver Nuggets, their starting small forward, Will Barton, would finish with 24 points and 2 steals in 39 minutes, shooting 9 for 16 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3, and a perfect 3 for 3 from the line. The Nuggets' leading scorer would be their elite starting center, Nikola Jokic, who finished with 35 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists in 39 minutes, shooting 13 for 26 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3, and 6 for 6 from the free throw line. And additionally, for the Nuggets, their elite starting point guard, Jamal Murray, would finish with 11 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists in 37 minutes, shooting 4 for 17 from the field, 1 for 7 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the line. For the Milwaukee Bucks, their starting small forward, Chris Middleton, would finish with 29 points, 8 rebounds, and 12 assists and 3 steals in 36 minutes as he shot 9 for 16 from the field and a perfect 11 for 11 from the line. And the Milwaukee Bucks' leading scorer would be their elite power forward, back-to-back MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo, who finished with 30 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 blocks on the night, shooting 11 for 23 from the field in 34 minutes, 2 for 5 from 3, and 6 for 8 from the free throw line. And with this win, the Milwaukee Bucks are 16-8. They are 1 game behind the Philadelphia 76ers. They are the runners-up in the East currently. And with this loss, the Denver Nuggets are now 12-11, which ties them with the Sacramento Kings for the 7th best record in the Western Conference. Both of these teams, as they are tied with the Kings, and they are half a game behind the Trailblazers. That's where they sit at about in the West. And then last but not least, the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers hosted the Oklahoma City Thunder. And in this one, the Lakers would win 119-112, outscoring the Thunder 9-2 in overtime to pick up a very big win at home. For the Thunder, their starting shooting guard, Hamidou Diallo, would finish with 20 points and 11 rebounds in 41 minutes, shooting 8 for 17 from the field and 3 for 4 from the line. Their starting power forward, Darius Bazley, would finish with 21 points and 16 rebounds in 42 minutes, shooting 7 for 21 from the field and a perfect 5 for 5 from the line. And the Thunder leading scorer would be their starting shooting guard, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who finished with 29 points, 7 rebounds, and 10 assists in 42 minutes, shooting 10 for 25 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3, and then a perfect 5 for 5 from the line. For the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers, off the bench, there's center Montrezl Harrell would finish with 21 points and 8 rebounds in 30 minutes, shooting 9 for 14 from the field and 3 for 3 from the line. And the leading scorer for the Los Angeles Lakers would be their goated small forward, LeBron James, who played 43 minutes and finished with 28 points, 14 rebounds, 12 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks, as well as 5 turnovers. He shot 11 for 22 from the field in those 43 minutes. He shot 2 for 10 from 3 and 4 for 5 from the free throw line. With this win, the Los Angeles Lakers are 19-6. They are currently second in the Western Conference, sitting half a game behind the Utah Jazz. And with this loss, the Oklahoma City Thunder are 10-13, as they are they have the second worst record in the Western Conference, as they and the Mavericks are both 8.5 games behind the Jazz. And I guess just with math, 8 games behind the Los Angeles Lakers. So that was what was going on yesterday. Looking forward to tonight's game, starting with the prime time at 7:30. The New Orleans Pelicans are going to host the Houston Rockets on TNT, as Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram, the Duke combo, look to take on this newly revamped Houston Rockets with Christian Wood and John Wall and Victor Oladipo leading the way. Following that at 10 o'clock, the Utah Jazz are going to host the Boston Celtics on TNT, as Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert face off against Jason Tatum, Kemba Walker, and Jaylen Brown, who's looking like a all-star starter as of right now. He's looking in that form, and I hope he continues his form going forward. Outside of these games at 7 o'clock, the Pistons are going to host the Nets. At 7:30, the Heat are going to host the Knicks. At 8:30, the Spurs are going to host the Warriors. At 10, the Trailblazers are going to host the Magic. And then at 10 o'clock, the Kings are going to host the 76ers. And jumping to college basketball, looking out to last night's games, first-ranked Gonzaga went to BYU and were able to beat the Wildcats 82-71 after outscoring BYU by 10 in the first half. Jalen Suggs would lead the way for Gonzaga with 24 points and 5 rebounds. With this win, first-ranked Gonzaga is now 19-0, and they are 10-0 in the West Coast Conference. And with this loss, unranked BYU is now 15-5 as they are 6-3 in the conference. Fourth-ranked Ohio State went to Maryland, and they were able to beat the Terps 73-65 behind Kyle Young's 18 points and 4 rebounds. With this win, fourth-ranked Ohio State is now 16-4 as they are 10-4 in the Big Ten. With this loss, unranked Maryland is 10-10 as they are 4-9 in the Big Ten. And then last but not least, unranked Kansas was able to beat 23rd ranked Oklahoma State at home in Allen Fieldhouse as David McCormack was able to score 23 points and 10 rebounds. And potential number 1 overall pick Cade Cunningham for Oklahoma State finished with 26 points and 9 rebounds. Kansas was able to outscore Oklahoma State by 9 in the second half in order to extend their lead. And with this win, unranked Kansas is now 13-7, and they are 7-5 in the Big 12. With this loss, 23rd ranked Oklahoma State is now 12-6 as they are 5-6 in the Big 12. Looking forward to what's going on today. At 6:30, unranked South Carolina is going to host 11th ranked Alabama on SEC Network. At 8 o'clock, unranked Kansas State is going to host 13th ranked Texas on ESPN+. At 9 o'clock, 7th ranked Texas Tech is going to host 14th ranked West Virginia on ESPN. Texas Tech is 6-4 in the Big 12 as West Virginia is 6-3 in the Big 12. At 9 o'clock, unranked Georgetown is going to host 19th ranked Creighton on CBS Sports Network. And those are going to be the big games to look forward to today with college basketball. Really quickly, jumping out to the NHL, just to give you a quick glance into what's going on in that league as I'm starting to follow hockey a little bit more, and I feel like the best way for me to do so is just to follow these games closely side by side. First, in the Battle of New York, the New York Islanders were able to beat the Rangers 2-0 as both of their goals came in the second period. Martin, their left winger, had a goal and an assist in this affair, and with this win, the New York Islanders are currently sitting 4th in the East Division as they are 6 points out of first place. The Columbus Blue Jackets were able to beat the Carolina Hurricanes 3-2 as they scored a goal in each period to get their 6th win of the season. With this win, the Columbus Blue Jackets are sitting 2nd in the table, 2 points behind the Lightning. The Edmonton Oilers were able to go to Ottawa and beat the Senators 3-1 as 2 of their goals came in the third period to create some distance. With this win, the Oilers are sitting 4th, sitting in the exact middle of the North Division. They are 7 points out of first place behind the Toronto Maple Leafs. Speaking of the Maple Leafs were able to beat the Canucks 3-1 to retain their lead at the top as 2 of their goals came in the third period. And of course, one of their goals came from their captain, Austin Matthews, their center. The Tampa Bay Lightning were able to beat the Nashville Predators in Nashville 4-1 as 2 of their goals came in the second period and 2 of them came from Cirelli. With this win, the Lightning are currently sitting at the top of the Central Division by 2 points over Columbus. The Arizona Coyotes were able to beat the St. Louis Blues in the shootout in order to get their 6th win of the season. And with this win, the Arizona Coyotes are sitting 4th in the West Division as they are 3 points out of first place behind the St. Louis Blues. And those are the big games from yesterday. Looking out to today, on ESPN+, the Capitals are going to host the Flyers at 6 o'clock. Also at 10 o'clock, the Flames are going to host the Jets. At 8:30, the Predators are going to host the Lightning. And that game's going to be on NBC Sports Network. And last but not least, looking out to what's going on in the world of soccer. And starting with the FIFA Club World Cup, which is actually a meeting of the best clubs from each continent. And yesterday, Bayern Munich, the winners of Champions League, which is the highest tournament in Europe, they faced off against Al Ahly, which won the highest tournament in Africa. And in this one, Bayern Munich was able to beat Al Ahly 2-0 to advance to the FIFA Club World Cup final, as both of their goals came from their elite Polish striker Robert Lewandowski, scoring in the 17th and the 86th minute to get a brace the brace needed for Bayern Munich to advance to the next round. The second goal would come off an assist from Leroy Sané, which was a good assist. And they were able to go to the next round. And the other big game from yesterday came from Atletico Madrid as they drew with Celta Vigo 2-2. Both of their goals came from their elite Uruguayan striker, Luis Suarez, one in the 45th minute to end the first half, and then one in the 50th minute to start the second. But then a last-minute goal from Celta Vigo would tie it with this draw. Celta Vigo is now sitting 10th in La Liga. They are currently 25 points out of first place, and that first place team that's currently sitting on top is Atletico Madrid, but no need to worry for Atletico Madrid. They are currently sitting 8 points above Barcelona and Real Madrid, and they still have a game in hand, so they still have one less game played than both those teams, so they could be up by a potential 11 points once games are evened up. So this draw is really kind of nothing to him, but it was a very impressive showing from Celta Vigo to force the draw. Looking forward to what's going on today. In England, the FA Cup is going down as Manchester United is going to host West Ham United at 2:30. In Italy, the Italian Coppa Italia, the semi-final game between Juventus and Inter is going to be at 2:45 as Juventus won the first game 2-1, so they're going to lead the aggregate. And so that's going to be a very interesting game that I'm going to keep my eye on. In La Liga, Real Madrid is going to host Getafe at 3 o'clock. Getafe is currently the 13th ranked team in Spain as they are currently sitting 19 points in the table behind Real Madrid. Real Madrid is tied with Barcelona for the second most points in La Liga, but Barcelona has the advantage on goal differential, so Real Madrid is sitting third. So a win here could temporarily put Real Madrid in second place, putting pressure on Barcelona to win their game. That's pretty much everything that's going on today. I want to thank everyone for listening to all 22 minutes of this piece. Today is Tuesday, February 9th, 2021, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims. I want to thank everyone for listening to this piece. I hope all is well, and peace out. I will catch you with an episode tomorrow once all these games are finished. Once again, today is Tuesday, February 9th, 2021. I'm James Sims, and this is The Elite.